Hello, Namaste, Sat Sri Akal, good evening. Welcome to the S.S.Chandhok talk show. I'm your host and moderator, S.S. Chandhok. Today, we are going to talk about a very important topic, mathematics, that is formative assessment in mathematics. Whenever you talk about mathematics to anyone, they get feared. They get feared. Even the principals also get feared. Oh, mathematics, right? What is this? So there is a learning gap of mathematics which we have started up in this season. That why, especially in the middle school, the children have the fear of mathematics. And we have very eminent guest today with an expert also. Without taking any time, I'll introduce you to the very first eminent guest we have. First is Deepti Sharma, ma'am. She's a director principal of Pragyan School, Jewar, Greater Noida. She is masters in mathematics and masters in computer application, MPhil, MEd, and pursuing PhD also. She is having 22 years of experience in teaching, administration, and management of school activities, serving as a school principal from 15 years because it's her own school. So from last 15 school, this year school is working under her leadership. She is the founder and president of Sahodaya School Complex NCR East, member of AIP, district vice president of School Sports Association, Gautam Buddha Nagar, Uttar Pradesh, working as an observer for various examinations like AIEEE, NEET, and CTET CBSE examination. She is a resource person, master trainer with Center of Excellence CBSE, COE Noida, COE Dehradun, COE Gurugram, COE Allahabad, Pragraj, COE Delhi West, and COD Delhi East. She has conducted more than 160 workshops on the various subjects as capacity building program for many topics, including mathematics, SSTN, and a number of topics are over here. Well, also, ma'am has received so many awards on national and international level, as well as she is associated with many associations on national and international level. Well, last time also when ma'am came, I said, ma'am, Gautam Buddha Nagar has been established by you only because everything you have done over there. You have started Saudya there, you have started your school over there, and beautifully you have brought up education in that particular area also. Welcome, ma'am, and thank you so much for coming because we wanted that someone should be there that who knows maths. Although when we talk to the principals to come to the show, so they say, "Oh, mathematics, this is not my forte." So I said, we are not talking about the calculations. We are talking about the difficulty of learning mathematics, how the children are facing problem, and how these can be removed. Welcome, ma'am. Ma'am, please, the people present over here as well as who will be seeing the show, they will like to know about your journey, ma'am, as an educator. You are by chance or by choice, and how did you came the idea to start up a school, and how did you rose the school at this step?
Yeah, very good evening, all the fellow panelists. So, sir has started this question in the previous one session as well, and he asked me that it is whether my journey is by teaching is my, or you can say that being educationist, if I'm in the by choice or by chance. So I'm like truthfully, I'm agreeing that it is by chance, not by choice. Actually, when I was in 2000, year about in 2000, I was continuing my MCA. And you can understand at that moment when you are pursuing any professional degree, so everyone is having a dream of becoming software professional. So same like me. So I want to become a very good software professional at that moment, a software engineer, and somehow I got success in that. But as being the girl, I got married during the same moment of time, and I shifted my into my in-laws house. So here my husband was also MBA at that moment, and he was thinking to establish his own business, some kind of thing. So we started with a computer center as I was a faculty of AppTech at that moment. So and AppTech and IT, these are the famous institutions at that moment of time. So we started with a computer center in the location of this area, Jewar, and it was a very first computer center of this area at that point of time. So I got very much success in that, and we started later on. We came into the degrees we associated with the MDU Rohtak for the BCA, MCA. We have started with that. But then we very soon we came to know that the students are facing too much problem in completing their mathematics paper, because mathematics was not an easy subject for them, because BCA is open, it was an opening degree for all. There is no compulsion that you are from the mathematics, whether you are from the commerce or whether you are from the humanities, you can do, anyone can do the BCA. But the mathematics is a core subject there, so that they would not be able to complete with that paper. So my husband also faced some kind of problem during his childhood, during this regarding education in his childhood. So then we decided that we should start with the basic education so that we can nurture this area or whatever kind of problems are there. So we started in 2003 with this Pragyan Public School in Jewar, and it was the very first CBSE affiliated school. And that was a time when Jewar was totally disconnected from all the regions. Like it was the last end of district Gautam Buddha Nagar, but it was totally disconnected with the district. Suppose if we want to go to the Delhi, so it took nearby 3 hours from Jewar to go to Delhi. And whatever the building material we are collecting, we are everything, nothing was available in Jewar at that moment of time. So we are associated with nearby areas and all. But we have started that school with the 72 schools students, and now we can say that that is now just like a Vatavraksh, or we are facilitating 20-kilometer area of this Jiva surrounding, and we are having now 2,700 students. And if I say about the results of the school, so Pragyan is known, very well-known school of this locality, even in the area of district Bulandshahr and district Gautam Buddha Nagar. Everyone knows about Pragyan. And we are giving, not only we are focusing on CBSE results, we are focusing on competition part as well. So students are proving themselves in the area of competitions. We have recently we have given 2 NEET selection in government, one advanced up to advanced IIT Patna. My child has reached up to IIT Patna, and even students we have received in that JEE mains as well. See, 3 of the students has been crossed this year CA-CPT. So some of the students are preparing for NDA also. Hopefully, we will receive this year the result for that. So this is all about the journey of Pragyan from like a 19 year we are into this session.
Amazing, ma'am, amazing. And you have brought up education to a place where it was very difficult to have CBSE school, although this area might have grown up now, but
Yes.
you brought it up as a baby and now have made it a young person like anybody can do. Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming and welcome. Next, we have Rajesh Rathore, sir. He's the principal of JK Public School, Jammu, a very renowned school in Jammu. He's a creative, dynamic, and inspiring team leader with a first class master degree in English literature, as well as a degree in education from Lucknow University. He has a comprehensive skill set underpinned by a diversified teaching experience gained at IPSC member schools, namely UP Sainik School, Lucknow, and the Delhi College, Indore. Before taking over JK Public School, Jammu, he served for 4 years as the principal of reputed GD Goenka Public School, Jammu, and the Shri Ram Universal School, Samba, for 2 years. He also got the privilege of heading Vallabh Ashram School, Walsad, an IPSC member school from Gujarat, for 3 years. Besides, he served for 8 years as vice principal of Anandalaya National Dairy Development Board Campus, Anand, a dream school of late Dr. Varghese Kuren, father of White Revolution. A well-equipped and highly trained professional, Mr. Rathore received substantial training from the Institute of Global Repute, namely IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Kozhikode, and University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA. He also visited Harvard Graduate School of Education, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, Stanford University, University of California, Berkeley, University of Southern California, etc., to study the educational and training programs at the top US universities. From last 8 years, he has been on the advisory council of Harvard Business Review, HBR. He wishes to see a creative, compassionate, responsible, and highly competent global citizens passing out from the hollowed portals of the institution. We welcome you, sir, and there are so many and numbers of awards on your list, as well as you are also associated with so many associations. Thank you so much, sir, for coming up to the show. And as I know personally that you are such a dynamic personality, and but I just recognize again that you have been my neighbor from Lucknow, and you have just moved to Jammu from so many years. So, sir, please let us know your journey from Lucknow to Jammu, sir.
Thank you very much, Chandhok sir, and a very warm good evening to all my wonderful co-panelists. So friends, once upon a time, I wanted to be a Fauji myself. That was my dream. I couldn't. So I thought, let me make my students, Fauji's. And today I feel really proud in sharing with all of you that I started my teaching career from Sainik School, Lucknow. And today I have 125 cadets who were trained by me as NDSSB coordinators. And out of them, 54 are commanding officers. And 6 are posted in Jammu. And I feel so great when recently I visited and met 44 RR Shopian commandant, the commanding officer, Colonel Arun Kumar Singh, who's a terror among all terrorists. And my heart heaved high with great joy and admiration. I said, what a wonderful job you are doing. And if I show you his photograph, you'll really you'll feel so glad. It looks like a commando, a panther, a tiger with a mustache and all, man. Arun, I'm so proud of you. So friends, today of course 50 plus are with paramilitary forces, a deputy or commandant, with BSF, CISF, CRPF, and ITBP. 4 are here in Jammu, so that's really great. And 17 are with NSG, SPG, para commandos and Cobra commandos officers. So now they share. So we were in class 7th or 8th when first time you shared about NSG. Sir, I'm on deputation with NSG for 5 years. I am proud of you, my boy. Anyway, so sir, I will say 27 IPS and 13 IAS. And I'm so proud whenever District Magistrate Bagpat, Rajkamal Yadav, my student at Sainik School, he calls up and he shares, sir, it's a really wonderful time. So friends, I say, we as teachers, we just inspire children for the lifetime. And we should only ensure one thing, which I share with all my teachers: let our students not commit those mistakes which were committed by us. And we should always keep children on the track so that they should utilize their time very, very fruitfully, judiciously, and they should reach their dream destination. So I consider my role, greatest role, to be a motivator for all my students. And that was reason I took over this school, JK, on 10th of March. And new session started on 4th of April. And today class 9th was on the ground. Of course, big school, 2,500 children. And friends, I played all the games with children. I bowled 1 over bowling because I was opening bowler of National Dairy Development Board cricket team. Then I kicked, this ball twice up in the air. So I said, just to see where is the ball, because Sainik School and Delhi College trained me for all the games. Then of course, basketball, a little bit of dribbling, and volleyball, like some just service and all. So I'm saying that principle can really inspire children when we go and just play with children. So of course, all of us are trying our best in our whatever role we have, just to inspire this generation. So thank you very much, sir, for really inviting me on this panel. And yeah, thank you very much.
Pleasure is mine, sir. Thank you, sir, and welcome, sir. Next, we have Dr. Hipesh Shepherd, sir. He is the principal of Salvation Tree School, Greater Noida. He is the principal and educational mentor, had been in Mount Carmel School, CBSE, Chandigarh, Mohali, that is Zirakpur, from 14 to 16. He has been secretary and treasurer of BCTA under BMS, London, December 2013 to 2014. He had been director St. Thomas College of Professional Studies, Greater Noida, from May 13 to November 13. He had been director of Nora Solomon Education for Chintal India Limited Initiative from May 2012 to 2013. Director in Graham Institute Academics, Technical, Vocal and Handicap Training from May 2007 to 2012. Principal, Baring College, D&D University, Amritsar, 2003 to 2007. Professional Horticulture, Allahabad, Agriculture Institute, Allahabad University from October 1991 to March 2003. And sir holds a degree and diploma institute, that is B.Ed from CECS University, Meerut, 2015 with a 76%. And so many degrees are his name, sir. From where have you got so many degrees, sir? And Shepherd, sir, Hipesh, sir, you are, so many cities. I was in Punjab, I was in Haryana, I was in UP, I was in all the places. Sir, what made it like You had been moving from schools to colleges also. I mean, you have a versatile experience, sir. Sir, please share your experience with the people that how did it came, because you know Punjabi also now, sir. You had been in Punjab also, Chandigarh, Zirakpur, very, 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 very beautiful place over there. Sir, please let us know about your journey, sir. Please, sir, you are on mute.
Thank you for inviting me. And the reason I have been moving around is that I am still a student. And I am in this vocation by choice. And when I realized that being a teacher is not a profession and it's a vocation, my parents both were teachers actually. My father retired as a pro vice chancellor, mother retired as a principal, and my sister, and I have one sister. She is in Coimbatore. She's also a professor, and her husband also is a professor. So, and my wife is also heading a school in Ghaziabad. So, being in teaching, I realized then there is another word which most of us don't know of. It is called educationalist. There are two words, educationist and educationalists. And the meaning or the difference between the two is, which we quite often see, that many in debates, they come around, since in the country we have people who talk a lot about the national scenario. On defense, they will start speaking, and other different subjects. And you find them commonly in most of the talk shows. And so they will be speaking as experts on defense and name the subject, and they'll be there. So such people, they know the theory of the story, but practically they are missing in action. This is the difference between an educationist and an educationalist. So I try to be an educationist who is into the practice part of the story also. And currently I am serving, as you rightly said, in a school called Salvation Tree School, Greater Noida West. And these are challenging times for all of us, and I'm excited to be in this industry.
Thank you so much, sir, and welcome, sir. Next, we have Sameer Asif, sir. He is the principal of Ideal English School, a CBSE school in Kerala. He is basically from Delhi, the education hub of India. He started his career with multinational in learning and development department. He has been associated in the field of education for more than 15 years as of now. He has also done a remarkable job with in the schooling. His recent assignment was as principal in GD Goenka Group, Delhi. His forte is English language, career consultation, aptitude training, and motivation. He is also known for his versatile knowledge and transformation leadership. As far as sir's qualification is concerned, he is B.Ed, MBA, and Masters in Biochemistry and Masters in English Literature too. He is also certified in computer technology and psychology. His conviction and passionate, promotion, academic, emotional, and social well-being of all the students, and they should grow. And also, again, sir has a long list of awards he has earned and so many associations he's connected with. We welcome you, Asif sir, and thank you so much for joining us. Asif sir, please, because we have come to know that you are not by choice in education, you came by chance. So how did this happen? You came from that industry to this education field, sir. Please let us know about yourself.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chandhok, to speak on this particular famous platform you talk to. And the journey was spontaneous because earlier in my early career, I was in multinationals. I was a part of Qubit International and IBM. I was there in the L&D department where I used to deal with the IJPs, internal job postings, reasoning questions. So this L&D lured me for the education field, and I tried to step into that particular field. I started my career with some competitive names like Akash Institute and FITZI. I was academic head in Akash Institute also, where I used to deal with the mega minds, the IITians, NEET aspirants, and I can boast some of the top rankers also in my students. Like AIR 10 rank is there. Many of my students are there in the AIMS and Stanford University and other institutes. From there, I thought to be in the formal education system, that is schools. So I started my career with some of the schools, and finally, from Delhi and Dehradun and different cities, I decided to be here in Kerala, God's own country. Why I chose Kerala is something I just want to see the south, number one thing, and Kerala is a very peaceful, very harmonious state of India. And I just wanted to be in the solitude, and I'm quite happy here also. Besides education, I used to work with the aptitude training, NLP training, and I'm a student-oriented principal. I work out on the brain of the students. And my USP of working is the brain science, brain mapping, because I divide students into different categories like red, blue, green, and then accordingly I get it done work by the teachers. I used to give so many trainings, and right now in this ideal school also it's a massive school with a capacity of more than 4,000 students and 200 teachers are there under my supervision. So we have achieved so many landmarks, but still miles to go. Apart from all these things, I am running my own NGO also, Almighty Foundation, which works of the deprived students who are not able to afford uh, their fees and something. And secondly, I am dealing with some mega mind clubs where I can boast for so many students who are achieving very well in NTSC and different type of Olympiads. And I'm blessed with two kids also who are the child prodigy. My junior kid, my son, he is only in fourth grade, and he is able to teach up to 10th grades mathematics. He's a maths prodigy who knows the number of means multiplication table up to 200, pi of value of pi up to 300, something like this. He's a national player of chess. I did all those experiments with him, on him, myself. And my daughter, who is only in grade 7, is the youngest corporate trainer in India, and India Book of Record holder also. Because in the initial early childhood, I recognize the intelligence level. There are different type of intelligence level like linguistic intelligence, logical intelligence, spectacle or musical. So accordingly, we should work out on the brain of the kids, and definitely we can get a very good result in our. This is all about myself, and I'm still a long way to learn from you all dignitaries. Thank you so much.
Amazing, sir. Amazing. I mean, you are also wonderful, and your kids are so wonderful. My God. I mean, it's a God gift that your kids are doing so well. I mean, they can teach till class. He can is in grade 4 and can teach till class 10th. And your daughter is a corporate trainer. So what's her name, sir?
Her name is Alma Asif.
Oh, Mary, very good,
She's a
sir. Very good.
YouTuber, blogger, podcaster. She's literally a literary prodigy.
Sir, people like me should regard it as a goddess because वो तो हमारे काम की तो देवी हुई. So she should be a goddess of power because we started at this age of around 49, 50. I have started this. So she is our goddess because she has started so early. I mean, wonderful, sir. Wonderful. It's a pleasure having you on the show, sir. And someday we'll call your kids also, sir, for sure. For sure. Thank you so much, sir. Next, we have our expert of today, Nirmal Shah, sir. He's the co-founder of Counting Well. And let me tell you before I speak about him that I met up in a show where he was also as a contest, I mean, as co-speaker, and we were discussing about mathematics. Even I was also running when I came to know about mathematics. So it was being known that we are talking about how the difficulty the kids are facing till grade 5. They are very happy with mathematics. From 6 onwards, due to the pressure of the society, they feel like that this is a very difficult subject which we cannot do at all. So that becomes a big problem. And when they rose to the senior classes, it becomes a phobia. So when I met him and he told me about this counting well, how can these type of tools, what we say, because teacher cannot be removed, how these tools can help the children to how can the teachers be trained through this, and how can they they deliver it to the students like they can become excellent in mathematics. Although we know that mathematics is the easiest subject. I had been accountancy teacher, and I had always been telling my students that maths and accountancy are the easiest subject in the world. For each and every answer question, you have different answer, but there are certain concepts for accountancy and maths also where it revolves around, how it is. Like we were taking an example earlier also, that if a greengrocer comes to your lane and you say, give this 1 kg, this half kg, this 50 grams, this 150 grams or 250 grams, within seconds, he'll tell you how much money he has to pay. You have to pay. He's illiterate. But at the very same time, when you give it in the question form or word problem form to a child, he starts using his formulas. A plus B whole square is equal to A square plus B square plus 2AB. This formula has come, but how it has been derived, how this can be simplified, will only be told by our expert today, Nirma Shah sir. Let me introduce him formally. He is the co-founder of Counting Well, a maths learning app for middle schoolers. The goal is to make mathematics learning easy, anxiety-free, and participative for children across the country. Their focus is to help the so-called average students becoming more confident with maths and develop great problem-solving skills. They step up where schools teachers are not able to provide personalized attention due to lack of time and bandwidth. He is also designing career and life lesson courses for the children between the age group of 10 to 14, built around mathematics. His saying is that kids must know that maths matter and it will matter throughout their life. The best way to do that is to show them how. It is his belief. He has over 2 decades of experience in various roles, including executive position in education, B2B marketplaces, IT consulting, and coachings and mentoring services. He has also handled roles in services delivery, product management, and development, education content, and curriculum development. Prior to starting Counting Well, he was a part of the founding team of Teskra, a US headquartered IT consulting firm. He was its managing director for operations, India operations, and senior vice president of global delivery and delivering services to Fortune 500 companies globally. At Teskra, he also co-founded another entity, Ascent, a marketplace for delivering coaching and mentoring service globally. Before Teskra, he was a CTO at Trade to Gain, one of the India's first B2B marketplaces, and associate vice president at Advanced Technology Labs, which delivered training program in computing across India. At Advanced Technology Labs, he gained considerable experience in curriculum and content development and co-developed training program with Cami Mellon University. We welcome you, Nilma sir. Nilma sir, first of all, we have seen you are so versatile. You have been so many places with so many different, porte you had been. How did it came into your mind to come up to a topic or a subject where you hated, it was said that Arjun, आपको क्या दिख रहा है? तो अर्जुन ने कहा मुझे सिर्फ चिड़िया की आंख दिख रही है. So what, when you had seen the eye of the bird, how did it came to your mind that basically I should start up with this subject, and especially with the middle school, not from grade 1 or from grade 10 or descending order? Why 6th, 7th, 8th? And how did it came to your mind to start this? Sir? Please let us know about yourself also.
Sure. Thank you for inviting me again to this event. I am happy that you have not got bored with my talks repeatedly, but and it's really amazing to talk with such eminent educationalists, as somebody said here, that that's what everybody is, and it's really wonderful to be interacting with all of you here. Now, to answer your question, वो जो अर्जुन की आँख है, so I think that came because of my son. When he started in middle school, I started observing that he is starting to struggle with maths. Earlier, he used to literally get home, pick up his table, sit down on the floor. So we used to have a small table which you keep on the floor, and start doing homework. As soon as he got home, he would not do anything else. Once he went past middle school, that changed. He would come home and he would say, I'm hungry and I have to play and I have to do this, I have to do that. So we had to tell him to do homework. And there obviously must have been some reasons. Now, one of the things, especially with maths, what I observed was that he was starting to struggle with mixing multiple concepts, and also struggle with understanding a lot of the problems or understanding a lot of the content. So that was the start. And then my co-founder Ravi and we started talking about what could be the reasons behind these kind of things. We have been friends for a very, very long time, and we were generally chatting about this. And he had done some kind of research on this earlier. He also does not come from an education background, but both of us were talking about it. We looked at some research, and what we realized is that we need to be able to understand why the children are not able to solve problems. So instead of simply saying that or categorizing children as they are average or they are not good or they are very good, we have to understand why they are not able to solve the problems and then help them fill those gaps. So that was the genesis. We said that why don't we create some kind of an assessment which can tell us what the learning gaps are. And obviously that whole theory around formative assessment and assessment for learning has been around for a very long time. But if you see the implementation, especially in India, is not there, right? So we realize that there is a gap here which we can fill and we should be able to help to fill. So we created some assessments, we did some pilots. So we went to a few schools and we got about 1,500 students to do these assessments. They were all middle school children. And we picked middle school because we thought that they are kind of the right age. That's where the complexity starts coming in mathematics. That's where it becomes less fun and more work for them. And that was, we felt that if we can help them overcome this barrier at this age, then they will be able to continue further without too much trouble. So that's why we picked middle school and we said, let's do these assessments and see what happens. So we did that and we realized that when they try to solve problems, there are actually multiple levels of skills they require. They need comprehension skills, which is a very important skill, but which tends to get overlooked very often. So they need to be able to have skills to understand problem statements, to understand different contexts that are given, and then align it with some kind of a mathematical context. So that comprehension skills are lacking, especially when problem statements are in English. It's not our mother tongue. So a lot of kids start having trouble with that. Then they need to have modeling skills. When we say modeling for maths, it means that they need to have some kind of a structure or strategy to solve the problem before they solve the problem. So up to fifth grade, it's just 2 plus 2, 4 plus 4, all these kind of additions, right? Multiplication, very simple operations that they do. But then it becomes more complex. So there they have to have some kind of modeling. So we saw that these are the areas where they are lacking. And there is no way to measure that. So we created the assessment to measure that. Then we went back to these schools. We said that, here are the reports of these assessments. And the next question came from these administrators that fine, we also know anecdotally that this is what happens. And you have kind of given us the data for that. But now what about the solution for this? So we realized that simply doing an assessment does not help. We also need to be able to assist the children and the schools and the teacher in filling these gaps. So we have to understand what the teacher is able to do with the class strengths that we have, with the amount of time that they have, and where can we assist. So that was the whole basis of creating Counting Well. We took almost 3-4 years to understand the whole structure of how that learning happens in the classroom, how the content has to be created. We got advisors, we talked to a lot of education people in the education industry, so to speak, and that's how we created the whole thing.
That's amazing, sir. And you also told me that the most important thing is right now it is free of cost for all the schools who will be registering for 22, 23, whatever you sold, sir.
Correct. So that is, one thing we realized is that as we brought the product, we came out with the product in 2020 and December 2020, so almost end of the year. And that was more for directly going into the market. Then we started creating the version for schools. And what we realized is that this is not the time when the schools are in a position to actually increase their expenses. So we realized that business to hota rahega, it will come, right? So it's not that in 1 year we are going to grow too big or not grow too big. So we decided that we will at least have a part of our offering available to schools where the schools or the children don't have to bear the cost burden of that. So that's what we are doing.
We'll discuss further also in the next part of the show, sir. Thank you so much for coming on our request, sir. We have the next round, which I'll say a suggestion round. I won't say it as a question round. We'll come up to Deepti Sharma, ma'am. Ma'am, what, according to you, what is the importance of formative assessment in mathematics?
First of all, this word formative assessment, most of us have listened this word when the CBSE has introduced the CC pattern. So it was about continuous and comprehensive evaluation. And during the CC, the assessment has been divided into two parts, the formative and the summative. Formative means in the formation time when we are taking any kind of assessment. So first of all, we need to understand what is the formative assessment. So the goal of formative assessment is to monitor student learning, to provide, you can say, ongoing feedback that can be used by the teacher, so that the teacher can improve where he is finding that some kind of lackingness is there, if further something improvement is required. So we can say that formative assessment is a method of assessment where students are given immediate feedback and furnished with ideas that how to improve what they are doing. So it is just like that when we are just some guests are arriving in our home and we are just making some kind of special dish and we are just taking a taste of that dish before serving. If there is some kind of garnishing we can do, some kind of add-on, some kind of salt is lack, so we can add on that. So before going to the final assessment, where we can improve the child, that is called formative assessment. And as we are talking about mathematics here, so Mr. Nirmal Shahaji is also talking about that when we are taking the children from primary stage to the junior stage, so somehow the mathematics becomes somehow complex for them. So sometimes there is a problem of language. What I say that sometimes it happens, most of the time it happens that we all are Hindi medium background. Like our home culture is from the Hindi Bhashi, we all are. And when the child is taking everything, reading a word problem in the English. So sometimes it is an action research, what we have done in our school too. We have found that the students are getting less marks in the maths. And continuously we are watching that why they are getting down day by day down. So when we observe closely, when we have just done some kind of particular action research, so we found that the reason behind is not the math. The reason behind the problem is the language. So language is a barrier somehow sometimes for the students. And when we generally what happens when we are teaching them some kind of subject mathematics, teacher never used to, sometimes they used to forget to correlate that mathematics in the real life. When we are teaching money, are we making them, giving them some kind of real life example? Can we connect them with the suppose if we are teaching them coordinate geometry, are we giving them real life example? Like suppose if we can say them that suppose if you are using Google Maps, so on which phenomena it is working. So like when we are finding, immediately we are just whenever we are going anywhere, and immediately we are just asking suggestion from the Google Baba, Google Maps. So shortest route distance it is showing with that is a real life example of coordinate geometry. Similarly, some other why we are studying trigonometry, why we are understanding geometry. So if we are able to connect the child with the theory, with the practical, and with the time to time we will conduct the formative assessment. Like every moment, are we conducting any kind of quiz? Are we conducting any kind of worksheet? Live worksheets are there. And this COVID has given such kind of facility that we are quite tech savvy now. So when we are on the technology in our hand, so can we give some kind of formative kind of assessment to the child? Time to time we can assess the child so that what kind of lackingness is there, we can fill out that gap. We can help our kids to fill those gaps, and so that the concept can become strong. And the CBSE is also wanting that. CBSE is talking about competency-based education, and this NEP 2020 is also talking about that we should inculcate, like we should change the methodology of teaching. The main phenomena is that mathematics is just not like a chalk and talk kind of subject. We should take a shift from chalk and talk kind of subject to the different innovative kind of pedagogy. So mathematics is also demanding a change. Like can we introduce the project based learning there? Can we introduce the storytelling based learning there? Can we introduce the sports based learning there? Sir has given very beautiful experience of his own school, Rajesh, so that he is involved with all the students. So while playing during the games or in the ground, we can teach so many concepts of mathematics there. So like I would like to share one example of my physics teacher. So he used to collect all the students into the ground and made a circle, and with the help of a football, he used to teach them the different phenomena of force, friction, laws of motion. And when I used to ask to the student, have you understood something today in this class? So they are remains very happy and excited. Yes, ma'am, we will tell you how we can what is the difference between force and friction, what are the different kind of laws of motion. So it becomes permanent for them. So different kind of pedagogy, and time to time the feedback from the student, the formative assessment, that is quite required in my opinion.
Amazing, ma'am. And it was just like that because you are from the mathematics background from all of us. It was just like all the students were listening to a teacher, and so many good things you told about the formative assessment that it was really wonderful listening to you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Uh, we'll come up to Rajesh sir. Rajesh sir, don't worry, sir. You are also an all-rounder, sir. So you have seen, and I, or all of us have seen that mathematics becomes a burden in middle school. According to you, what are the reasons? Some of the reasons behind it.
All right, sir. So I will say that though myself a science graduate, but to be very frank, I didn't really put in very seriously during my days. But once I started teaching my children, my son, my daughter, of class 1 to class 10th, and even as vice principal at Anandalaya, I always had some 15 publications with me. Then I thought, let me acquire some more that, this material. Then of course for maths, it was IMO workbook, International Maths Olympiad. And after that, what happened? I said, no, 6th to 10th. And again, hats off to all these coaching institutes. So today I feel proud in sharing. I have the foundation modules from Alan Kota, Career Point, Dr. Rao IT Academy, Resonance, and I did all those 6th to 10th myself. And to be very frank, I tell you, whenever I conduct any interview maths teacher, I know, okay, fine, you have done masters in maths, very good. I will ask you one question from class 6th or 7th to the extent MSc maths, and I simply ask, how many rotations an hour hand will make in a day? First, they have to think how much time it will take to complete one rotation. Many immediately, sir, 24. Arey, think about it. Then how much time in one rotation? Then 12 hours in one rotation. So in a day, 2 rotations. Okay, fine, sir. So coming to the question, I will say that, and now I am so fond of teaching maths to middle school. Sir, first thing I will say, lack of practice or drilling for basic operations. This as principal I've been doing last couple of years. I go to junior KG, senior KG, and I conduct rapid fire round. I say, before number of 60, 59, before number of 90, 89. I want fast answers. The entire class, I keep telling teachers, your children should come up with the answers at the lightning speed. Class 1, class 2, skip counting by 2, skip counting by 5. And I also see what teachers are sharing, skip counting by 2. So I tell children, there are only 2 series, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and second one is 2, 4, 6, 8, 0. And I tell class 2 children, your number is 62, 64, 66, 68, 70, 72, like this. So sir, I will say here, my school, class 2 or 1 child will not count on fingers 6, 5, 11, 8, 7, 15, 6, 7, 13. I said rapid fire round. You listen to 2 numbers and tell me. And sir, again, as I was very happy when Samir sir was sharing about, this prodigy children, and it's really great. And I'm here also telling children to be outstanding in dodge tables. And because we were told, we were taught that way. And sir, again, even you go to senior class, class 12. Yesterday, I'd been to one senior class. I said, they asked, sir, this mathematical intelligence, mathematical sharpness you have put as one of the 17 SDGs of JKPS. When I go, beta, if you go to a vegetable market and you ask for this maybe cauliflower, what is price, and 20, you reduce it to 17 rupees. You select one piece of cauliflower and give to the person, and it weighs 700 grams. When you ask by nature or default how much to pay, being an educated person, that vendor says, "Sab 15 rupees de do." और मैंने कहा 95% of class 12 children, they will pay 15 rupees and come back. Whereas they should immediately say 17 sevens are 119, 11 rupees 90 पैसा, बोलो भैया तुम मुझसे 12 रुपए ले लो, 13, 14, 15 क्यों लोगे, right sir? So lack of practice, sir, addition, subtraction, and this second thing I will say, sir, one problem what I've noticed primary school is schools and teachers are focusing a lot on systematic work, स्टेप वाइज वर्क, कोई भी कॉन्सेप्ट आया सिस्टमैटिक तरीके से चालू. आई ऑलवेज टेल टीचर्स कि यू मस्ट डू लॉट ऑफ ड्रिलिंग. आधे घंटे यू फॉरगेट अबाउट सिस्टमैटिक अप्रोच. You simply do a lot of drilling. With lot of drilling, children understand the concept. You forget about language, you forget about systematic approach. You simply share the concept in your own indigenous ways. Sir, after that, again, very nicely it was raised, lack of comprehension skills, very true. And sir, one more thing is, sir, lot of variations required. अब आप ऐसे जैसे कि okay, like we said, lack of comprehension. अब जैसे subtraction के questions हैं, अभी भी आप 6, 7, 8 में चले जाओ और एक ऐसा question पूछो, -6 subtracted from -2x. Oh my God. -6 subtracted from -2x gives you -y. Equation बनाओ, right? तो अब ये इसको कॉम्प्रिहेंड करो, कौन पहले, राइट, -2s subtracted from, we can interchange. And sir, one thing I keep telling teachers, 3, 4, 5, lot of variations. -3 minus box is equal to any number divided by any number, right? So lot of means I tell children, never ever feel scared. यार आपको राइट से लेफ्ट से राइट भेजना है, अगर जो साइन है उसको आप चेंज कर दो. मल्टीप्लिकेशन में है तो नीचे उसे डिवीजन में कर दो, लेफ्ट साइड में डिवीजन में मल्टीप्लिकेशन. सर 50-60% चिल्ड्रन दे आर स्केयर्ड ऑफ शिफ्टिंग थिंग्स फ्रॉम वन साइड टू अनदर साइड. एंड वन थिंग आई विल से, lack of practice related to HOTS in the primary school. I jumped on my heels when last week one person came to me from Alan Kota and he shared कि sir, Alan Kota has ventured into designing modules 3 to 5. Oh my God. मैंने कहा 3 to 5 का मॉड्यूल्स किया डिजाइन. मैंने किसने किया? IITians ने किया है. 5-year integrated program MSc in maths from IIT रुड़की और IIT दिल्ली. अगर इन्होंने अगर कुछ डिजाइन किया तो भाई मुझे जल्दी से वर्क मॉड्यूल्स दिखा दो, क्योंकि 3 to 5 में आपने क्या किया है. I keep telling, I've been teaching my teachers last 10 years कि यार चैलेंजिंग वर्कशीट दिखाओ. यार क्लास 1 में आप क्या बना रहे हो, क्लास 2 में आप क्या बना रहे हो जो कि बच्चों के लिए IIT प्रॉब्लम हो. सर, इफ सिस्टमैटिक ट्रेनिंग इज इम्पार्टेड टू चिल्ड्रन रिलेटेड टू HOTS क्वेश्चन राइट फ्रॉम लोअर क्लासेस, I think things will be very, very easy for children. And children are always very excited. Whenever I go to class 6 and I just ask, okay, fine, children, are you ready for some challenging question? Yes, sir. I said, okay, fine, be ready. And I tell them, and sir, बड़ा मजा आया. मैंने बच्चों से बोला, मैंने कहा बेटा, तुम्हारे टीचर्स तुम्हें जितना पढ़ा पाए और तुम्हारे ट्यूटर तुम्हें जितना पढ़ाएं, तुम अच्छी तरह पढ़ लो, क्योंकि तुम्हें फिर मेरे क्वेश्चंस फेस करने हैं, राइट सर? सो आई से कि वी नीड अ लॉट ऑफ ट्रेनिंग एंड चिल्ड्रन शुड रियली take it very sportingly, and when they gain success, every little success adds to their confidence level. How to make children succeed, that is our greatest target. So sir, these
Amazing,
are the problems,
sir.
I
Amazing.
think if they take care, the children can really. And of course, last thing I will share, as someone said, of course, like Sameer sir shared, sir, it is mathematical logical intelligence. Again, I think it's a matter to be really discussed. Sometimes I feel if a child is not gifted in terms of mathematical logical intelligence, can we really, because sir, one thing is true, no teacher in this country can claim कि मैं किसी भी स्टूडेंट को JEE मेंस या JEE एडवांस का पेपर अच्छे नंबर से क्रैक करा दूंगा. सर, मेरे ख्याल से वो पॉसिबल नहीं है. अब पता नहीं, मैं हो सकता है गलत हूं, क्योंकि सर हर बच्चे का अपना IQ है और हर बच्चे का अपना मैथमेटिकल लॉजिकल इंटेलिजेंस है. अगर इस पॉइंट पे इफ एनी को पैनलिस्ट can throw some light, I'll be very, very happy.
Amazing, sir. Amazing. Thank you
सर
so much.
बोर्ड का हम करा सकते हैं परसेंटेज, 60 से 80 करा देंगे, 70 से 90 करा देंगे, लेकिन वाकई में जो JEE मेन के क्वेश्चंस होते हैं वो दूसरे ही कुछ वेवलेंथ, दूसरे ही प्लेन पे होते हैं, 2-3 कॉन्सेप्ट्स पैरेलल चलते हैं और क्या क्या होता है सर, ओ माय गॉड.
Amazing, sir. Ajay, sir, you are wonderful and versatile. English and maths, everything we have holded off so tightly in your school also, sir. Nice,
Thank you,
I mean,
sir.
hearing from you, sir. We'll come up to Hipesh, sir. Hipesh, sir, I mean, we'll also like to know your views on the saying that mathematics becomes a, burden in middle school. What are some of the reasons which are left now?
So, valid points have been made based on experience and understanding. I would like to share my personal view based on what I underwent. Again, I'm also a science graduate, but mathematics is something which I dread till date. And my observation is that most Indian students, they struggle with two subjects, English and mathematics.
Mathematics.
So in school, I personally feel that due attention should be given to English and mathematics. So as the different panelists have shared what effective measures they have taken, we in our school also run a program called ELP, English Learning Program, and MLP, Math Learning Program, and a third program called TLP, that is Technology Learning Program. So like fifth period every day, 2 days a week, every half of the school is doing ELP. We equip their English, try to teach them English as a language, not as a subject, which usually is done. Then for maths, what we do is, again, 2 days of maths. And maths, we have inducted people who have an understanding about abacus and Vedic maths. And that is where this wonder, which Rajesh ji and others have spoken about, this comes into play. So there is a knack of cracking maths, which I now believe very strongly, that needs to be taught. And the earlier we orient them to that kind of thinking, which they would be coming across for their entrance examination, the better it is. There's a very important thing which I learned in life. I was attending a seminar and the person who was conducting it, he asked a question, why does anyone learn? And then people gave different answers. And then he gave a very interesting example. And the example was that just imagine you have two kids. One kid is, say, obviously one is elder to the other one. And the elder kid, he moves around. He runs also, he moves around comfortably. And the other kid is still crawling. He drew a picture before us. He said that, look, the younger one wants milk and tries to communicate in his or her way to the mother. And because of not being able to communicate properly, the child wants milk and the mother ends up giving water or trying to put the child to sleep or whatever it is. And here this child sees that my elder brother comes, says something, and immediately the mother responds, the job is done, and a happy elder brother moves out of the room. Then different situations, he said, suppose the family is sitting after dinner and father he throws a ball and the elder one goes, does something, picks the ball, gives it to the father, and there is a clapping or there is an appreciation. At the same time, I take a lot of time to crawl and reach the place. So what happens is that the child, the younger one, observes very keenly what does the elder one say that the mother responds and immediately needs are satisfied. And then he realizes, see, he is saying something called doodh. So they start aping that word. And he said, do. And then the outcome is that when he wants milk, he conveys that sound and the job is done. And likewise, and then he realizes that to pick the ball, what happens is there's something this other one does. He has 2 feet. He gets up, uses his feet, walks up fast, and while on the contrary, what is happening is I'm on my 2 feet and my 4 hands. By the time I realize and I reach the place, the job is. So anyway, this was a very interesting analogy, and I always love to share it with teachers because it starts the whole story about the business in which we are. 3 points which I want to share as a personal experience, why I suffered learning mathematics, or what held me back from learning mathematics. My father is a mechanical engineer, so obviously his maths was very good. So there was a lot of pressure from his side in terms of my performance or my understanding or my comprehension about learning maths. So that was a major deterrent. I never obviously was able to come up to his expectation, and there was a backlash on it. And that was one reason which deterred me from learning. Second was that the mathematics teacher I had in school was not up to the mark. Sorry to say, he was a drunkard, and then he had his own preferences. And that was second reason which put me off. And I was not able to kind of come to terms with maths. Then as a boy, I felt that I had no time for practice. Mathematics requires practice. I had so many other things to do in life. Where did I have the time to sit down and practice mathematics? So that was the third reason which kind of my mathematics suffered. And then fourth reason, which I understand, this is not my reason, but for others, I've seen that and partially Rajesh ji pointed it out also differently, is about the comprehension that people struggle with signs and symbols. Sometimes it is difficult. There's so many technical interpretations for that, for which I'm not an expert, but that is another fact, that it serves as a deterrent for anyone to get or to run away from maths. I won't say that they get averse to the idea of mathematics, because my father always used to say that jis cheez se bhagoge to nahi khadedegi. I was not able to understand, but now I realize when I look back. So my fear for mathematics, because of the reasons I've stated above, I lived with it, and till date, mathematics has not stopped pestering me. I still get tickled with this subject. And then someone else also said something which is very important, that we don't want kids who are in our responsibility to repeat or make those mistakes which we made and we suffered. So exciting to be in this discussion. Thank you.
Sir, I regard your honesty about mathematics, sir. And you are right that whatever has happened with us should not happen with the kids if we are not having good teachers. Like I at least early in the session also said that teachers come and say that students don't respect. So what I was saying is, my saying actually is that you don't get respect, you have to earn your respect. Sir, when we were studying, you and me were studying in schools, teacher used to have a cane. And that cane used to take the respect. If we will do something wrong, we won't respect the teachers. You will get a peace of mind. We were studying in boys' school, missionary schools. So that was actually what I say, that I'm sorry, but I say that was not respect. That was out of fear that you will get a peace of mind. But now the children are very smart. You're not giving to them, they will throw you out for sure. They won't. So that is for sure, sir. And we have to cater that, because then only when I went with Nirmal sir, and I had a word about mathematics. So like somebody was saying, there are two things have to be catered, is the language as well as the mathematics. So this is the basis I'm trying to talk about, because earlier we had talked about language learning also. So it was mathematics was also a very, very important concept where we as an elder also feel fear. What about the kids then? So that has to be catered, how this can be made interesting, how the children should wait. When a teacher is very good, of course, these are the tools type, but the main role of the teacher is how these things are going to help the teachers to make it more interesting. And when the subject becomes interesting, the teacher becomes the favorite one, and the child gets the maximum marks in that subject. This is our motto in this season, that how can we do this, that the children should get 100%, not 99, because it is a scoring subject. In boards also, we say that in other subjects, a teacher can deduct 1 or 2 marks, but in mathematics, if you have written everything right, a teacher cannot deduct even a half a mark. So how they can have that interest in that from the middle school, we'll talk about after Samir sir to Nirmal Shah sir also. Samir sir will come. Thank you, sir. Samir sir, welcome. And we would like to know your views on the saying that mathematics is not only about numbers, but it's all about understanding. Because we see usually in the schools that mathematics is regarded as the same subject others are, although mathematics is little different. So how we can say that mathematics is not about numbers only; it is about understanding.
See, mathematics, no doubt, is related to numbers. We cannot skip numbers or exclude numbers from the mathematics. But if we say mathematics is all about number, that is also wrong. Because if I ask you, which is the highest mountain before the discovery of Mount Everest, the answer is Mount Everest itself, right? Because we discovered it later. In the same way, numbers comes later. The Arabic numbers 0 to 9 and all those things, it comes later. But mathematics was there from the beginning in the form of geometry, in the form of Pythagoras theorem was not there, but Pythagorean concept was there. If you are aware about some Shastras, Hanuman Chalisa is there. So in Hanuman Chalisa also, Hanumanji says something about yojans and yuga and all those things, which is estimated distance between the sun and the earth. That is around 96 million years. And that is true after the discovery of invention of the telescope and the modern calculation. So mathematics was always there before the discovering of the numbers itself. Number one concept. Number two, in the child pedagogy, if we are thinking that only arithmetic is a mathematics, that is somewhat true up to the primary level. But when it comes to higher mathematics, we are talking about the university level or the IIT level or beyond that, then definitely these numbers are very substantial. We have to deal with the topology or the coordinators, and so many different things are there which deals without the numbers. And why it is said? Because this is a normal cliche that maths is all about numbers. And your question is, maths is not all about the number. This is a kind of rebuttal about that particular set stereotype mindset. Okay, so I also believe in this thing, but we have to take the interest in the numbers first, and from there we have to take them on the journey of the non-number things or the alphanumeric things. For example, I'm giving a practical example. It is compulsory with all the students in my schools whenever I work to know the alphanumeric things like A to Z, 1 to 26. Now, if I have to keep any name like Mr. Rajesh, RAJESH. So R stands for 18, 1, then 10, then 5, then 18 plus 8. So whatever is there, the cumulative form of all those numbers sum up is the root number or the magic number. In this way, ultimately, students start learning, they are creating interest toward not only the numbers, but also for the alphabet. This is called alpha numeric approach. So there are so many techniques. This is a shortcut, short of time, so we cannot share right now.
Yeah.
But there are so many techniques by which we can inculcate mathematics beyond the number, without the numbers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Samir sir. Thank you so much, Samir sir. We'll come on to our expert, Nirmal Shah sir. Nirmal sir, first of all, we like to know as an expert your views on this, whatever all the speakers have said, eminent guests have said, as well as let us know that because during these 2 years there's a lot of reforms. The students don't want to pick up the books, they don't want to practice more, and they are more of dependent on gadgets now. Earlier we were saying we will not give you mobiles, but now we say them, we had been saying 2 years, please take mobile and do your work. So different things have happened, and now they have got acquainted to it, and they don't want to leave it even with the mobiles and the gadgets and laptops and all. So how, because we need that teaching should go on, sir, how, first of all, your expert advice on this, and how this Counting Well type of app helps the teacher as well as the student to grow more or to have more interest in the mathematics. Because when you talk to everyone, everybody's saying Samir sir has also given so many ideas and all. There should be a uniform way which should be there. I mean, how it is there in your Counting Well app, and how it is helping the students, sir. Over to you.
Sure, sir. So, a few things. I think everybody made this observation that one is that maths is not purely about numbers. So it is about understanding, it is about conceptualizing some things, it is about visualization also. And also to some extent, I think what Rajesh sir said, it translates to that it is also about agility with numbers. So it is not just number operations, but it is also how agile you are when you are dealing with numbers. So putting all of that together, I think, see, one thing which we have observed when we have talked to teachers in schools, and obviously in a country as large as ours, there is a whole range of grades. Teachers are very good to very bad, and then lot of things in between, right? So I don't think that we can categorize students' abilities just because that teachers are like this or teachers are like that, or students have certain abilities or not. I think that just because of that whole variety, it becomes very difficult to cater to that variety of crowd, right? Variety of teachers plus variety of students, that just multiplies. So what we have tried to do is, what we realized is during the pandemic, one thing is obviously that both teachers and students became very, very comfortable with technology. Parents also started realizing that earlier they used to say that I will not give gadgets to my children, they might get spoiled, they'll play games, this, that. But they realized that there is some good thing also which can be got out of it. So even the parents started accepting that. uh, the other thing what happened is, I think that the teachers at some point of time, a lot of teachers were looking at technology as a competition. They thought that it would replace their jobs, or that it is doing something which they cannot do. So is that some kind of a competition? But I think over the last 2 years they have also realized that it is not competition, it is really a very powerful tool for them. It can become a powerful tool for them if they use it in the right way. So our experience says that if we are able to build it in such a way that it becomes a tool for the teacher, then it also becomes an aid for the student, because teacher herself or teacher himself will drive the student to say that use technology in this way, and that is the right way of using it, and don't misuse it, right? Now, if I go back to the topic that we have, which is of formative assessments, and I think that is where something like Counting Well can play a very powerful role as a tool for the teacher, is that normally when you have to do formative assessments, it means that every day, let's say you teach something and you want to understand whether all the children understood it or not. And if not, then what is that learning gap and how will you fill that? Now, in a classroom where you have 10, 15 students, it is possible. So when you read a literature from Australia, or when you read a literature from Finland and say that they are doing formative assessments and they're using it very effectively, that's because their classroom sizes are very small. They can do it. In India, that's not possible. So here, technology can play a very, very powerful role. What it can do is, for example, what we are doing is that we say that you give a home assignment of 20 minutes to the child. Let them go home, do it on the Counting Well app. It will work as a formative assessment. So whatever you have taught in the class today, it's not even one chapter. It is one concept within a chapter. You ask the child to do an assessment on that. One, we will be able to immediately determine what the child has learned, what has not learned. Second, we will be able to also determine what are those learning gaps. Is that a skill gap? Is that a knowledge gap? Right? Where is that gap? And that becomes a report for the teacher. So the next day itself, the teacher knows what gap has to be filled. They don't have to wait till the term exam to determine if the child has not learned something. Right? Now you are doing this within the chapter itself. So like Deepti ma'am was saying, that when you're cooking the food, you taste it right there and you say, is the salt less? You don't do it after everything has been cooked, right? And then you start trying to determine what is missing and then you fix it. That's not possible. So the same thing applies here. So if we are able to do it while the chapter is in progress, then that's where the technology can help. So we do this formative assessment, the child learns. Also, we provide that initial learning intervention within the app itself. So that much personalized attention, which the teacher is not able to give because of lack of time, because if there are 40 students, and even if she's spending 1 minute per child in the classroom, the whole period is over. So where is the time for teaching something new, right? So we cannot get into that kind of a cycle as well. So here we can do that intervention. So next day, we have pushed the child a little further. We have brought the child on par with the rest of the class to some extent. And if there are further gaps, then the teacher can always intervene. So that way it becomes a very, very, blended, a kind of a mesh, right? The teacher, the app, the child, everybody is a part of that learning process. So that's how we have tried
Amazing.
to integrate the whole thing.
Amazing, sir. And what I feel from your saying, whatever you said is like when the kids are studying inside the class, even they feel feared to ask to the teacher. Or I
Correct.
mean, others they try to make fun of the child. "Arey, you are not able to understand to what this and that." So they hesitate. Many of them they hesitate, and this is the reason why people say that there are two toppers or three toppers in the class out of 40. Although every child has the same brain, but that learning gap happens. That is why there's a difference between the marks and all the students. Now with the app like Counting Well or whatever tools which we are having right now, thanks to technology, now it is happening now as we are also connected because of technology, and these have come in this era with the students. Now they what can they do is if they are not able to understand in the class or they miss the class today, they were not in the school today, so they can anytime according to their comfort, according to you see, when you have to study or to do anything, your mindset should be there. Even a child needs to have concentration. Concentration is not that every time you sit and have your concentration. At the time when he's having concentration, he can pick up that app, go to the mobile or laptop, and he can pick up the app and he can understand the gap what we had yesterday. Because when this gap happens one day, it keeps on increasing. One file work has not been done every day. As one file is coming, it becomes a big bunch and it becomes a burden and becomes a phobia. But during because of these tools, if the child is able to use this app at any time and he understands the concept which he was not able to do it in the class today, he will repeat it because teacher cannot repeat again and again. But an app can repeat that concept again and again until and unless he's not able to understand, he will do that. And when he'll come to the next day, he will be equal to all the students where I mean all the students will be the toppers for sure. That is
Exactly.
for sure. It will be a help to the student.
In fact, I will also bring up one point what Rajesh sir made. He said that I tell children never to feel scared, right?
Yeah.
They should be made to succeed. Now, like what you said, that in the classroom, the children also fear being ridiculed, right? From the peer pressure starts building up from a certain age. So if I ask a question which is a dumb question, to me, it is a very important question because if I don't clarify that, I will not be able to move forward. But everybody else is going to think of me as if I'm dumb. So because of that fear, I don't ask the question. And when I don't do that, then I'm stuck. So when you have technology, something like Counting Well, what we say is that the child can learn in a non-intimidating environment. If he's on his own and he's learning, and if he makes a mistake, there is nobody to make fun of him, right? We will tell that this is a mistake, this is how you correct the mistake, this is how you move forward, but nobody is going to laugh at him, nobody is going to make fun of him, and therefore that fear goes away and that confidence builds. So, and that's why we are saying that we want to create this for the average students. The smart students are smart anyway, right? The 2 3 4 toppers in the class, they will remain toppers and they will always have that self motivation. It is the others who are not that self motivated for whom we have to create this kind of environment. So that's what we do, and ultimately we end up creating self learners, which I am sure that everybody here will agree that that's what children should be. They have to become self learners, learn on their own, question on their own, and discover on their own. So that's something that we want to create.
Amazing, sir. Thank you so much, sir. We'll come up to the next round because we are in shortage of time. So we need to have a very short answer in 1 minute from everyone. Deepti ma'am will come up to you. What is your, saying on that? How does technology helps in making maths more easy and interesting?
Yes, sir, I totally agree because in past this COVID time, like from past 20 months, we were all in online mode, and there's the only the technology is the tool with the help of which we are able to reach to the child, and with the help of technology, we would be able to connect with the child. And before, I would to add some points while giving the answer of this question. So I'm just connecting the thought given by the Rajesh sir that hot questions. So when I'm talking about Bloom's taxonomy, so cognitive domain of Bloom's taxonomy is divided into two kind of layer, lots and hots, lower order thinking and higher order thinking. So generally our Indian education system is focusing more on lots rather than hots. Why we are talking about when we are talking about the formative assessment and Finland education system or Singapore education system, the pyramid is just opposite. They are working towards more towards thoughts than the lots would automatically be covered. So when we are saying that the child is starting from the remembering to understanding and then applying to analyze and then evaluation and to the create. So only the 3-4 students of the class are reaching up to the level of create. If we are just making this pyramid opposite, well, can we not start with the create by giving some kind of question of creating? Suppose if we are teaching any kind of concept of profit and loss, and we are giving that, okay, student, you need to prepare now questions on the basis of 2 digits. One is profit we have given, one is cost price we have given, and after that now you have to frame your own question. So we are not giving them open-ended approach. So if we will give them open-ended approach, we will let them give them a chance to think, to give some kind of thought process so that they can apply their own thought process, then it would be possible. Another point I would like to add, that there is a theory about the learning pyramid. The learning pyramid is also focused on the concept of Bloom's taxonomy. And while we are connecting it with that visuals, so in the learning pyramid, if you will observe that, so it is given that in our you can say the learning can be stored, or you can things can be stored in the form of visuals in our subconscious mind. So only 10% of what they read it is stored in our mind. Only 10%. If we are utilizing hearing as well, so 20% of what they hear it is stored. And if we are involving the visual kind of images, so learning becomes 30% permanent. And if we are adding on the demonstration, watching movies or hands-on workshop, it means learning becomes a permanent up to 50 to 70%. And when we are involving the child, engaging the child, simulating, model, experiencing a lesson, or doing the real thing, so learning become permanent up to the 90%. So when we are talking about learning become like when we are involving the child, engaging the child, so the technology is the process or the one-way tool with the help of which we can engage the child. Like if I'm talking about mathematics, so GeoGebra is one of the tools. Gamification, we can convert the math into the form of gamification. Suppose the child is getting bored and they are remain very happy to play a game on the mobile. So if we are providing them gamification kind of exercise, so they will be very happy. And I'm totally agree that Nirmal Shah sir has add-on that it is fearless environment for them. No one is there to say that you don't know, you are good, you don't know even these things. So the 2-3 times, more 3 times they can go with that, and with the hit and trial method or trial and error method, they would be happy to complete that task. So simultaneously they are learning and with the help of technology.
So ma'am, what do you want to say in one line? I can say this. It should not be a teacher-oriented class. It should be actually a child-oriented class. Then
Yes,
only
100%.
you will be able to get that. And there are a number of ways. And thanks to this technology, that these type of apps have come into, which are making the the work of teacher very easy as well as perfect also. Sometimes you don't have perfection when you're teaching, but when you're using these type of tools, so these type of tools, they help you to make it more perfect. See, you do not get the perfect teachers all the time. It is not in your school, anybody's schools, all the teachers are not of equal capability. There might be very good teachers, and some are normal teachers also. But with these type of apps, the normal or the average teachers, they also become very good, and they are able to impart good education to the kids, because kids are also very smart. If you're not giving them according to the technology good, they won't take your classes. They'll go to the YouTube channel and they go for the other teacher classes. So the teacher need to be very smart if they want to survive there in the class, and they want to see that.
COVID has created such kind of situation. This child has become self-oriented learning they are doing now.
When my parents are coming to me, I'm saying that that many things have not been added to the previous education before the pandemic. Everything has changed now. जो पीछे था वो खत्म हो गया, अब उसमें कुछ ऐड नहीं हुआ है, अब सब कुछ नया हो गया. This is with the generation also which we are dealing. I mean, what generation our elders were like with us, we cannot be like this to our kids now, because everything has changed now. Nothing has added now. Same way, education system has changed a lot with this pandemic. The only positivity has come from the pandemic is the technology has come 10 years before it had happened. But the children have taken it, absorbed it 100% now. They are not going to compromise in any area, in any remote area. Even they will not compromise. They want to use 100% of technology. It's not like a remote area where they'll be going to the traditional. It is a wave, a wind which is flowing and it will flow everywhere. And thanks to technology and people like Nirmal Shah sir, who was providing us these type of tools which are helping the kids, as well as he's so courteous that he's providing right now free of cost to the schools even. Thank you, Deepti ma'am. Thank you, Deepti ma'am. We'll come up to Rajesh sir. There's a lot to discuss with so these type of topics that even 2 hours are less for this. Rajesh sir, according to you, how does technology, suggest few ways in which a teacher can make maths more interesting? I will request 1 or 2 suggestions only, very perfect one. Sir, you're on mute.
Sir, first of all, I think in order to complete an exercise, so sometimes I've observed that teachers would like to solve most of the questions on the board. So teachers must give proper time. Instead of asking children doing things at home, teachers should supervise. Teachers should give only one question and take a round and see where is the problem. It is very important. Second thing, sometimes I feel teachers may not really be sharing their trade secrets. So for that matter, what I did, if there are 4 sections and there are 2 teachers, so I always tell them, you just groom your children and it will be teacher will be interchanged. And now, sir, they will teach beta. If question like this, crack like this. If it is asked this, you crack like this. सर ऑन समथिंग एप कॉम्प्रिहेंशन वी वर टॉकिंग. अब सर जैसे कि ये एक छोटा सा एक ये सर्कल है. अब देखिए कॉम्प्रिहेंशन क्या है, ये कहां से स्किल आ रहा है. अब सर क्वेश्चन दे दिया, if 1/4 of a circle with radius 7 centimeter is cut and removed, find out the perimeter of the remaining portion. अब बच्चे ने फटाफट कर लिया 2 पाई यार, 2 into पाई कर लिया 22/7, आर की वैल्यू 7 रखे, 7 कैंसिल, 2 into 22 44 हो गया. बच्चे को पता हो गया कि 1/4 निकाल दिया है तो 3/4 बच रहा है, तो 44 का 3/4 हो गया 33. उसके हिसाब से 33 आंसर हो गया क्योंकि विजुलाइज नहीं कर पा रहा है. सर उसको फिर नेक्स्ट स्टेप जब करके बताते हैं कि बेटा विजुलाइज करो कि इसमें से 1/4 पार्ट निकल गया है, अब देखो इसको, अब बताओ कितना होगा. तब उसकी बुद्धि चमकेगी, कहेगा अरे सॉरी सर, ये 7 सेंटीमीटर और ये 7 सेंटीमीटर तो रह गया है. अब 33 में 14 जोड़ोगे तो 47 आएगा. मैं तुरंत कहूंगा अच्छा जो कट पोर्शन है उसका बता दो पेरीमीटर. तो एकदम से बच्चों का सर ये 11 हो गया, 7 ये हो गया, 14 + 11 25. सर बड़े ऐसे क्वेश्चन है सर, खजाना है और हर टीचर को खजाना रखना है अपने साथ में.
But
हर चैप्टर पे क्वेश्चंस, हर चैप्टर पे क्वेश्चन. उन्हें सर ट्रिक्स बतानी पड़ी. मैं बताऊं, बेटा मेरा आईएमओ का पहले ज्यादा नहीं कर पाता था, लेकिन जब ऐसे प्रैक्टिस स्टार्ट हुई तो सर पहले 10 में 2-3 क्रैक कर रहा था, बाद में ये 7, 8, 9 तक चला गया. तो वही मुझे लगता है कि हम बच्चों को ऐसे सिस्टमैटिक ट्रेनिंग दें तो बच्चे बड़े कॉन्फिडेंट होते हैं और सब सर दिमाग में स्पार्क चालू हो जाता है. Anyways, so this is what I always share with my teachers.
Yes, sir, but I'll also add into this, sir, because when you are saying that you are interchanging the teachers, they are checking each other. What about the things happening in the staff room after that? You went into, say you are interchanging the teachers.
Yes.
They are checking it out or how they are teaching. What are the things which are happening inside the staff room, sir? You went into my class and you did this.
नहीं, अरे never sir, because I am sitting throughout. I am sitting throughout and they know no politics, only grooming of children, that's all.
Sir,
Right?
because
next time मेहनत कर लो ना, और next time मेहनत कर लो.
Because the thing is, this is only the fear of the principal.
Yes,
this is the fear of the principal.
Children do better, why not? तो सर बड़े ट्रिक्स होते हैं. कहते हैं ना, बिल्ली मौसी ने सारा का सारा सिखा दिया था शेर को कुछ छोड़ के. तो मैं चाहता हूं टीचर सारे अपने स्किल्स दे दें बच्चों को.
Very good, sir. Very good. And at the very same time, sir, teachers also have a lot of burden. They have so many chapters they have to finish up in the time. They cannot take so much skills. We should understand when the teachers are coming up, we say them that you have to do this. But how you have to do this, and we have to help them And if these gadgets, these wonderful things which have come into existence now, if they are helping the teachers, because all the teachers are not very perfect.
Sir,
I'm-
one last thing I would like to share. Sir, depending on the energy level, oh my God, I find some teachers, they are so much full of energy, and that energy is transcended to every child. And sir, once a teacher connects with children, sir, children can do anything for the teacher, right, sir? So
Yes,
sometimes
sir.
I feel it's not the subject, it is the teacher who makes the
Sir,
difference.
when a head of the institution is like you with so much energy, for sure your 100% of the staff might be having 100% energy for sure. And thank you so much, sir. Ipesh, sir, it's a very long topic we are talking about. Sir, you also tell us the ways in which we can make maths more interesting.
So again, I have 4-5 points which make it very simple, non-technical points, but they really work very well. And as a suggestion, this is what I share with my teachers, because uh, the topic which we are talking about, it involves 3 things: fear, tension, and anxiety. Now, and it again involves 3 things: the past, the present, and the future. Now, helping them correlate these two, the best role that we can do to remedify all that we have heard and discussed is that first suggestion is that we as teachers, we or as head of institutions who are dealing with such issues, we need to remain hopeful. We need that. In other words, we should be optimistic about the situation. We should. Second point is that we have to be very patient. Tolerance level we have to increase. Third is that start as early as possible. Fourth is set an example, as Rajesh ji said, that this is a very typical. I've come across a situation with this for the first time, very frankly speaking, where Rajesh ji, who's basically the main subject is English, but then he has cared to, I would say cared, I'm carefully using the word, he has cared to be an example, not only for the teachers, but for the whole group. So salute you, sir, for that. And God bless you. And that's very encouraging for people like us. And then last point is that we need to stay positive. We sometimes in the technicality of the whole discussion or deliberation, we miss on the soft skill part of the whole story. Knack is there, trick is there, technology is there, everything is there. But this is something which we, like a principal like me who himself is scared of maths, a principal like me who is aware of the fact that mathematics needs attention, needs, at least we can, people like me can contribute by keeping these 4-5 points which I have made in mind. And I think that will make a lot of difference. Thank you.
That's great, sir. Thank you so much. And you are very honest, sir. You are very honest. And of course, Rajesh sir is an all-rounder, sir. He's a very famous personality. You'll come to know in the third round also. And we'll come up to Sameer sir. Sameer sir, it is often seen that children try to learn mathematics instead of understanding it. What are your suggestions to the teachers for these type of kids?
First of all, learning is no problem. Let them learn according to their own pace. And this is the answer of our Rajesh sir's one query also, that all the students cannot crack IIT JEE mathematics paper. That is true. I do believe in this because I have done so many experiments in my life, because I was in Akash and physics faculty. Because there is different type of intelligence, and yeah, up to board level we can make them topper. But when it comes to IIT JEE, really it needs a lot of understanding, in-depth knowledge, not only about the presentation in the maths paper. So that's a true thing. But the root cause is there in their childhood, early childhood. We have to find out, we can increase the IQ even. Okay, we can increase the mathematical aptitude, but there is a limit. There is always a building effects. As far as understanding is concerned, learning will give them interest. Understanding will give them confidence to a step forward. So in the beginning, I focus on the learning things only. Especially, I ask my all teachers to focus on the mathematical table. It's must. Roots, cube roots, all those things. For example, grade 4. Recently, I did this experiment in one of the grade 4th. We have 300 students only in grade 4th. I say, why don't we teach them squares? So teachers replied, sir, squares is in the syllabus of grade 6. I say, we are making such type of benchmark for the limitation. Let them learn up to 20. And within one session, one period, all the students learn this, because next day I conducted one quiz type of things, competition between the section A, section B, section C, section D, something. So this is something very strange. All have learned the square up to 20, like 14 square, 19 square, anything you ask and take it. Now the condition is that all 350 students know what is square. Same with the pi education, pi value. Value of pi up to 100 digit is compulsory for all the students. In this way, they start learning, and simultaneously they can improve their understanding. Understanding is a different thing. For example, all these teachers, principals are there. If I ask them simple question, divide 30 by half plus add 10. What is the answer? Dipti ma'am, tell me. Divide 30 by half and add 10. What is the answer? Quick.
25.
25 is the wrong answer.
Oh, yes, yes. God mass
Yeah.
is applicable.
20.
Yeah.
No,
70.
it's not 20.
70.
Divide
What is the question?
divide 30 by half plus 10.
70.
70 is the right answer. Very good.
70.
Yeah.
Because we are not divide 30 by half. Half means 1 by 2. No.
Again,
Half
reverse,
means
inverse, so 30 into 2
yeah.
plus 10.
Yeah. Very nice. So this is how, because everybody knows the answer, but this is how we have to make them interested. So many questions. I can put 100 questions like this. Like in a race, if you are overtake the last position, which position you are in? People start thinking second last position, something. Last position cannot be overtaken. Yes or no? So this is how maths is wonderful thing. So to answer your question, sir, we have to make the interest in the teaching. Mathematics is a wonderful subject, and then automatically from the learning to understanding, as Deepti ma'am told, Bloom taxonomy is a wonderful thing. People could not understand. Our staff could not understand Bloom taxonomy. I have taken a special session is only on the Bloom taxonomy, which can change the entire learning system. That's all. Thank you so much.
Amazing, sir. Amazing. But when we are talking about teachers, sir, do we get such type of teachers who take so much caliber, interest or pain for the students? And this is also a thought process that we do not get so good teachers who who are so dedicated. You may get only 10% out of 90 that they're dedicated. So, sir, again, I also believe, Simi sir, that because of this technology, we can convert our hard work into smart work, as well as teachers can become more smarter with these type of technologies. This is what we are talking about. If technology based learning is over there, it reduces the burden, because at many times teachers do come and say, so much syllabus is over there, sir, how we have to finish up in this much time, and so many holidays do happen, with Diwali and Dussehra and this and that and Holi and this. How can we have to finish up the syllabus also? And they're right also. So if smart learning is over there, like we have technologies with count, like apps like Counting Well and many more we have, this learning gap can be removed, because our aim is that the teachers should become smart, so that they deliver good things, right things to the people, to the all the kids, and all the kids, because we are running towards the result of the children, even in the internal exam or the board examination, that every child should be a top over. So in that case, I believe is, right now Nirmal sir will also tell us that every child should be a topper. This is our aim, and we should give certificate to every child that you are on the first position. How can this be done? With a few things like in mathematics, and we are talking about, if technology has come into being, it is helping the teacher as well as the student. Even we have seen, sir, so many times there are so many resume coming to us that the teachers have done PhD even, but they are not able to teach properly. They don't have that methods. They don't know, because knowing and giving is entirely different. There are freshers who are coming and teaching so good in the class that they're doing wonderful. So that is why now we are allowing these teachers also to come into the board classes even, and come and do it, because they are doing wonderful. They have the new, they are technology based students now, the youngsters. So whichever way the students want to learn, it becomes effective, like technologies like this. We have so many concepts, we have as principals so many things to do. We cannot go into the classes all the time. We have to look thousands of things into, and the most responsibility is with the teachers. If the teachers are not good, there should be a certain, because sometimes, we say that वो चाबी वाले खिलौने हैं, चाबी उतरते ही फिर से वही काम करना चालू कर देते हैं. So there should be a mechanism wherein that mechanism goes on. You don't have to check it out because it will automatically be going on. So for that, we'll be talking to Nirbal sir. Nirbal sir, first of all, we'll like to know that whatever your views as an expert, what these eminent guests said, as well as what is the mechanism, because we are always worried with this, especially me sometimes, that when we are instructing something to the teachers, they are doing for the some days, and after that they are coming up to the same routine. How is this routine, set up with the teachers as a routine? How this working with the students and the teachers parallelly? How are we able to see that how the students are doing and how the teachers are teaching, and how the teachers are knowing what is the learning gap of the students? Over to you, sir.
So I think, sir, that is primarily because of data, right? So what everybody said here, I think everybody agrees and understands that the role of teacher is changing. The role of teacher is not going away, but definitely it is changing. The teacher is now also going to become a facilitator for learning, right? Rather than simply somebody who is imparting instruction, they are facilitating the child's learning, and they are basically nurturing the child's ability to learn. That's what they should be doing. Now, given that, again, variety of teachers, different capabilities, different experiences, all of that, how can we at least bring some kind of standardization in that, right? How can we help them bolster those abilities? One, what we do is using a lot of data. So when we are doing these kind of formative assessments, or we are tracking how the students are learning on the app, what they are learning, what mistakes they are making, how many times they're repeating the same mistakes, all of that helps us capture a lot of data, which then becomes that starting point for the teacher to do the interventions, but it also becomes a tool for the administrators. So as principals, you also start seeing that there are certain topics which this teacher is doing very well, for example, right? Or there are certain other topics which this other teacher is able to teach very well. So the kind of example what Rajesh sir was saying, that I exchange the teachers. Now you don't have to exchange them randomly. You can even say that, for geometry, I will assign this teacher for different classes. Whereas when it comes to algebra, I will assign some other teacher. That can come when you have all this data with you. So if we are able to combine technology and not simply say that, child is learning, child gamification is there, all of that is there. But now this data is going to the administrators, not to simply say that I'm looking at performance of teachers, but I'm also trying to optimize the teachers based on their abilities. So that is the other value that we can bring. And I think that is where, technology also becomes useful for the administration side of it all. So I hope that answered your question.
That's amazing, sir. And it's a very helpful tool because, and the best part is it is free of cost for this year for sure. And we are using it. We are getting a lot of help for our teachers and students also, because you see, you are very right that every teacher is not perfect in everything. So it helps the teacher to become more perfect and deliver a perfect, classes or lessons to the children, as well as children. They have the learning gap can be removed when they can, they have flexibility. They can study 24/7 anytime after the classes are also over, because that can be repeated. A recorded thing can be repeated again and again, for sure. Thank you so much, Nirbal sir. It was wonderful talking to you. We'll come up to the last part of the session. As many of you know that before parting, we have to sing 2 lines, and we have a very, very beautiful singer after Mohammad Rafi. We have a very beautiful singer in our group right now. That is the man of the match and the man of this program, Rajesh Rathore sir. Sir, you are the king right now, sir. You are the king right now from the beginning till the end.
Just a humble learner in the school of life, that's all.
Sir, I keep on listening. I keep on listening to your song which you sung in the last session also, sir.
Oh,
I mean, so beautiful, so beautiful.
hey,
You should
sir,
try. You should try in a competition for
I'm
sure.
really so fond of these songs, so I would like to just sing maybe 2 lines of.
Sir, you are inspiration for all.
These
You
are
are of
two-
so jolly nature, all rounder, going up with English also and mathematics also. And we have to, just invent whatever capabilities and what qualities you are having. You know, you have a, वो कहते हैं खजाना है आपके पास क्वालिटीज का, अभी तो हमने थोड़ा सा डिस्कवर किया है अभी.
नहीं सर, तो ओके फाइन. सो आई वुड लाइक टू कम स्ट्रेट अवे टू द सॉन्ग. सर, ये किशोर दा का बड़ा खूबसूरत सॉन्ग है और ये वाकई में हमें अपने मन में रखना है और जीवन जीने का ये ढंग हमारा होना चाहिए. और ये ऐसे है, ला 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 ला. कल की हमें फुर्सत कहाँ, सोचे जो हम मत वाले. जीवन के दिन छोटे सही, हम भी बड़े दिल वाले. कल की हमें फुर्सत कहाँ, सोचे जो हम मत वाले. जीने का रंगीन मौसम, ये खूबसूरत जमाना, अपने यही 4 पल हैं, आगे क्या हो किसने जाना. जीना जिसे आता है वो इनमें ही मौज मना ले. कल की हमें फुर्सत कहाँ, सोचे जो हम मत वाले. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
I love you, sir, from bottom of my heart, sir. I love you, sir. I mean, you are a wonderful personality, sir, ever heard. And I like to meet you in person sometime, sir, for sure. I will have to travel to Jammu, even I'll come to meet you,
अरे
sir.
सर, मोस्ट वेलकम. विजिट जम्मू.
वरना आपको आपके अपने शहर लखनऊ में भी बुलवाएंगे, सर, कभी आप आइए.
We will all would love to meet, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Hipesh sir is already selected from his mobile what song he has to sing. For sure, he knows because he knows. Only Sameer sir doesn't knows about that because it is the first session. Already, you Deepti ma'am also knows about this, and Hipesh sir also knows about this third part, which was a secret earlier, but it is not a secret right now.
It is no longer. It's no longer a secret. And Rajesh ji, in fact, he did a full round before even you showed up.
I am having goosebumps right now, sir. I'm having goosebumps right now. इतना मजा आ गया है, इतना मजा आ गया है. I mean, he made my day. जो कहते हैं ना, सारा दिन की थकान सर ने दूर कर दी. मजा आ गया सर. ऐसा लग रहा था कि जिसने ओरिजिनल गाया है, that person is singing.
चमकते चांद, चमकते चांद को टूटा हुआ तारा बना डाला. मेरी आवाज़ ने मुझको आवारा बना डाला. चमकते चांद को टूटा हुआ तारा बना डाला.
वाह 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 सर, क्या
गुलाम अली ना, गुलाम अली. ये गुलाम अली की लाइनें हैं सर. शायद
बड़ा अच्छा गाता है. मैं इस दुनिया को अक्सर देख के हैरान होता हूँ. न बन सका मुझसे एक छोटा सा घर, तूने सारा जहां बना डाला.
क्या बात है सर. his words and his singing is so good कि उसके लिए एक बहुत अलग मेंटल वो एक चाहिए है कि समझने वाला.
नहीं, एक लफ्ज में वजन.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, बहुत जबरदस्त. Was and will be always be. Thank you so much, Hipesh sir. Wonderful. You also sang, sir. Deepti ma'am, after you, Samay sir will sing, but it's your turn, ma'am. You know very well.
So initially, when starting, I sang a spiritual song that I am again singing. So, Malik tere bande hum, ऐसे हो हमारे करम, नेकी पर चले और बदी से डरे, ताकि हंसते हुए निकले हम. मालिक तेरे बंदे हम.
Wow, awesome. Very nice. Great. Wonderful, man.
Sameer sir, you all had your dhyan and now you have thought that which song you're going to sing. Sir, it can be original song also. It can be original song. also, and any of your choice, filmy song also, any song you can sing. So only 2 lines. Sir, you're on
Kindly
mute, sir.
unmute yourself.
Sir, you're on mute, sir.
Okay. I love to listen to the music, but okay, when it comes to singing, it's okay. हे प्रीत जहाँ की रीत सदा में गीत वहाँ के गाता हूँ भारत का रहने वाला हूँ भारत की बात सुनाता हूँ थैंक यू सर
अरे वाह वाह वाह, मजा आ गया, बहुत सुंदर.
I like patriotic songs very much.
Yes,
All
thank
the
you.
Sir,
Thank
bye
you very
bye.
much.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Thank you,
everyone.
Sameer,
Have a
sir,
great
Dipesh,
day.
sir,
Bye.
Deepti ma'am, Rajesh, sir, and
Everyone.
Meher sir. All the best to you.
Good night everyone. Good
Bye.
night.
Bye.